All right, well, I am super excited tonight to be sitting down and talking to you about Jurassic Park 3. It's one of my favorite Jurassic movies. What? What's that face for?
Well, here's the thing. We're going to talk about Star Wars.
Okay, I love Star Wars.
Yeah. Episode 2.
Two.
Attack of the Clones.
Attack of the Clones.
Yeah.
That's tonight.
Yeah, that's tonight.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's get started.
Now this is podcasting.
Okay, so
You an angel.
episode 2. Attack of the Clones. I'll start off with the facts. So May 16th, 2002, almost the 20th anniversary.
Wow.
We're a couple weeks away from it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, better shows coming out then, though.
Yeah. So it's the plot of it is the story is set 10 years after the Phantom Menace, so 10 years has passed. And says thousands of planetary systems slowly secede from the Galactic Republic and join the newly formed Confederacy of Independent Systems, led by former Jedi Count Dooku, former Jedi Master Count Dooku. Says with the galaxy on the brink of civil war, Obi-Wan Kenobi investigates a mysterious assassination attempt on Senator Padme Amidala, which leads him to uncover a clone army in service of the Republic and the truth behind the separatist movement. Meanwhile, his apprentice, Anakin Skywalker, is assigned to protect Amidala and develops a secret relationship with her. Soon, the trio witness the onset of a new threat to the galaxy, the Clone Wars. So that's like the synopsis.
So the movie is called Clone Wars.
Attack of the Clones, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, right. Clone Wars is a good show.
Yeah, it's like the cartoon series, yeah.
And then, so how much screen time do the clones get in this movie?
I mean, other than the end battle, you get a couple minutes when he's looking at him inside the facility, but that's pretty much it. Yeah. So here's the scroll, like we did for the first one. There's the scroll.
Scroll it up.
So it says, I noticed last time you tried to pace it with me, so I'll try.
I did, yeah. It kind of worked. I'll do the background.
It did actually work unintentionally. I didn't mean to. Okay. There is unrest in the Galactic Senate. Several thousand solar systems have declared their intentions to leave the Republic. This separatist movement, under the leadership of the mysterious Count Dooku, has made it difficult for the limited number of Jedi Knights to maintain peace and order in the galaxy. Senator Amidala, the former Queen of Naboo, is returning to the Galactic Senate to vote on the critical issue of creating an army of the Republic to assist the overwhelmed Jedi. So that's the scroll.
Yeah, all 6 million Jedi are being overwhelmed.
Overwhelmed. There's like 20 in the room, and then they bring about another 35 with them to the planet.
Yeah, and we'll talk about it, but even some of those are like, they're fighting robots. They're Jedi Knights. They're trained Jedi Knights. They're fighting robots, and they're getting shot and falling off of them.
Yeah.
They're all getting killed. Half of them died.
They're extremely well done.
That's why they need clones.
Yeah.
So, as far as Star Wars movies go, this is my least favorite movie. Like, if we weren't talking about these prequels leading to Obi-Wan, I would never have watched Attack of the Clones.
Yeah.
I just
It's funny going into it. I didn't I didn't remember it being this bad.
No, I know it's the least popular of the 3 prequels.
Yeah, oh yeah.
But I don't, it's been so long, and I said, well, we'll rewatch it, and I'm sure it'll be a lot better than I thought. If we sat through Jar Jar Binks and
Right, exactly.
for this one,
Yeah, exactly. I thought, oh yeah, okay, whatever.
it does this. The whole thing just does this, and these prequels are notorious. So in my brain, I have the Mandela effect.
Okay,
Where
okay.
Count Dooku is this huge character. General Grievous is this huge character, a part of the war. General Grievous doesn't even come into play till the next movie.
Right.
But because of the Clone War animated series, you see that
Right.
Count Dooku is a major plot point.
Right.
And Grievous is a major plot point. This movie wedges Dooku in towards the middle of the movie.
Right.
And they don't even explain that he was Yoda's Padawan until
Not in great detail, no. Yeah.
And then, like I said, Grievous doesn't even come until the next movie, like the middle of the next, like the beginning of the next movie, and it's just like, oh, General Grievous is doing this. I'm like, who is General Grievous?
Right.
So they cram too much into these
way too much.
few movies. Like, so Phantom Menace could have been the first 30 minutes of it. Could have been, here's Anakin as a kid, here's Qui-Gon dying, here's Obi-Wan taking it over him, and now here is the beginning of the Clone Wars. Boom.
Right. Well, yeah, you could have literally made 1 and 2 the first movie.
Easy.
And then the second movie be the Clone Wars movie. And then the third movie is what it is,
Easily. Yeah, easily.
Or even half again. You could even do a more, like do half of Revenge of the Sith and like do Clone Wars with the beginning parts of Revenge of the Sith. And then the third movie is just a much more streamlined showing of how he goes to the dark side.
And my problem with the prequels now too, especially even more because a ton of time has gone by and they've made new things. So now, like, you watch the Clone Wars and you watch Rebels, and it's like you love all that stuff. Like, I love all that stuff. And then you go back and you watch this movie and you're like, where's Ahsoka? Where's,
right.
Like, none of that stuff really exists in this timeline. In the movie universe. Right. There's just so many great story parts that happen in that show that this movie it just feels like filler,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It doesn't feel like anything happens. All of them.
Not a lot does.
The first 2 movies kind of feel like that, and then now, so this movie ends with begun the Clone Wars have, and then the next movie, when we talk about it, it's here's the last 2 battles of the Clone Wars.
Right.
It's the end. It's the end of the movie. At the end of the war.
Yeah.
So there's so much material that you're just cutting out. Like,
I know. And the thing is, though, it's like that what's his name is that's better. That what's his name?
It was pretty great. Like, immediately.
Yeah. That Lucas had this stuff planned out, right? Because he's shown early sketches for a lot of these things when he was doing the original Star Wars. But the thing is it's like it kind of makes it. This movie makes it feel like the throwaway sentence that Alec Guinness gives in A New Hope, that he's like, "Well, I fought with your father in the Clone Wars." It makes this movie feel like it's an afterthought.
Mm-hmm.
Like Lucas was like, "Well, he's like, well, I gotta do something about clones," and like, clones are in here, clones,
Yeah.
And the sad thing is they did the Japanese anime cartoon, which did do well, did some stuff, but it really wasn't until however many years ago they did this Cartoon Network, Disney, whatever, whoever did it.
Yeah, Cartoon Network did it, started it.
Yeah, so it's just like
that original art style though of that Japanese one was really cool.
Oh yeah. I watched that one, and then when the other one came out, I was like, why? Because I was like, I've already seen the other one, but they're night and day different.
The hardest part about watching them is that if you watch them in order as they are on Disney Plus, they're not linear. They're not in order. Mm-hmm. They're all kind of.
Yeah, I don't know why. Yeah.
But
I went on a
would say
website years ago and watched them. Somebody had put them in an order to watch.
that's crazy. I gotta tell you, that last season of the Clone Wars, Clone Wars.
Yeah.
It's so good. If you're a Star Wars
Yeah.
fan, that is like one of the best things.
Yeah, so when you go to watch Revenge of the Sith, it really, yeah,
Just because even I started the other night, I started Revenge of the Sith. And it's just like Anakin and Obi are like friends in the beginning, and then it's just like immediate. It's immediate where they're just like, oh, well, he doesn't trust me. He doesn't think I should be on the guy. It's like where is
this coming from? I know.
And it's in Clone Wars, it is like this long period that they have been fighting side by side. And it's just they're brothers, you know, they're bonded.
Oh yeah.
So that line at the end, you were a brother to me. It pays off so much more.
Oh yeah.
You actually see them fight side by side, and they're friends, and they're so close to their brothers. And these movies just rush through the storyline.
They really
just
do.
To get to Vader.
Yeah.
It's just to get to Vader. That's all it is. It's all it has to show. It has to show Palpatine becoming and Vader. That's it. It's all it pays off to, and there's so much stuff in between.
It really does, and I wish it didn't. It's so weird, some of the stuff. And my mom, anytime we bring up the prequels, she always laughed, and because I never sat and like critique these movies. I just watched them to watch them.
Mm-hmm.
But she's always like, their love story, Padme and Anakin's love story, is such a joke, and I was always like, oh, whatever, right? And then I watched this movie, and I was like, oh, yeah. It's kind of like painful to watch. I found myself wanting to like skip through their dialogue.
It's uncomfortable. Their relationship is uncomfortable.
The thing that gets me, and okay, we're just going to dive into this. Let's dive into the bad stuff.
Yeah,
we'll talk about the good stuff.
And we'll talk about the good stuff later, because there are things in this movie I like.
Exactly, same. I like a lot of.
Let's get the hated stuff out of the way.
Okay, so honestly, the thing that drags it through the mud the hardest, I feel, is literally their like relationship scenes and the thing that eventually becomes a romance. That to me is what ruins the movie. The rest of it is like, okay, it's just weird plot holes and things that feel rushed, but that makes it really unwatchable. Like all of their sequence are terrible. She gets off the thing, they're talking, he's all weird, right? They're going up the elevator, and it's like, oh, blah blah blah, and Obi-Wan's like, stop. She wants nothing to do with him. Nothing.
That's because she has a deep-seated love for him still from when she saw him as a child.
Right.
Will, come on.
She wants nothing to do with the man, and she is like that the whole time. The whole time. When they land, and it's like, oh, blah blah blah, and he's like, we're gonna go, and she's like, yeah, we're gonna go to this villa out by the lake. And he's like, excuse me, and she's like, settle down. And then he's like, I'm a Jedi. He's like, you're not a Jedi. Yeah, she's really mean and nasty to him, and doesn't give him an ounce of affection.
No. She
is exactly what her words match her attitude, right? She's like, you can't do this. This is like, leave me alone. You're weird. And then they're standing there at that little, whatever, half wall. And she's got the open back dress. And he's like, ooh. And he touches her. And then all of a sudden, she's just like, oh.
We use the Force.
She turns on a dime. And there's a scene in, I don't know if it's that scene or before that.
Well,
that she says to him, Anakin, don't look at me like that, right? And then it keeps it on Hayden Christensen, and he's like this. Yeah, like what? He's a creep. Yeah, exactly. He is a creep. He's such a creep. You don't
Yeah.
get like he has a crush on her thing. You get like this stalker thing from her.
And they spring it on you too at the end, where he's, again, he's on the couch and she's talking to him, and he's like, oh, it burns every time I see you. It just burns. And it's like, okay, whatever. And she like plays him off again. And then when they're gonna go die in the arena, she's like, every day that you've been gone has been torture.
I know.
I was like, what? Where?
Where is this coming from?
Do you
And
think?
then she's like, well, we're gonna die, so I'm gonna tell you these things. Like,
Do you think that relationship would have paid off more if it actually seemed like they had chemistry, like the actors had chemistry?
yeah.
Because I don't know, maybe they do, maybe they don't, maybe it's bad directing. I think it's bad directing.
I think it's bad directing, and I don't think George Lucas really knows how to write like a young person love story.
No,
Because what's his other love story is Han and Leia.
Right.
Oh boy,
Ooh. Yeah,
they're real romantic to each other.
This is a guy who made a movie and then insists that Greedo shot first, and he's gonna direct a love story about two teenagers falling in love.
Right.
I don't think so. All part of my original vision. Like, no, George.
It just is. It was just so bad. I couldn't believe how bad it is.
It's awkward because like you said, it's just him. It's him being over the top, like
way over the top.
And she's just like, no, I'm good. And then it's like, oh,
Yeah.
I've been loving you the whole time. I've always loved you, Anakin, ever since I met you as a child. Oh, okay. That's cool.
Yeah. She saw this 9-year-old, and then from that point forward, she's thought about him, fantasized about him, wanted romantic feelings with him.
So
and
cold.
Then, yeah.
Cold.
And then 10 years later, when he shows up to be her bodyguard, she's like, I'm going to play hard to get and be a real jerk to him.
You know what? So you know what their relationship reminds me of? And we've already done it in one of our previous podcasts.
Okay.
It's Kung Fury, right?
No,
I want you so bad. No. Oh, we. It's just like, oh no, I love you so much. Oh no, but then you think I'm flu. Then you think I'm slut. No. Oh, like the. Oh no. That's their relationship.
it really is. Except it's not supposed to be comedic, right?
It's not supposed to be comedic. It's supposed to be like, oh wow, these people are falling in love.
Wow.
I know what that's like. No, not like that. So the other funny thing about like the Jedi Council is they're like, you can't have attachments,
right?
You can't fall in love,
nothing.
You can't be with women. And then they're like, yeah, why don't you be Padme Amidala's bodyguard? Like, that's fine. You're a teenager. You're all put up. Yeah, just go ahead.
Yeah, you don't have like odd attachments to your mother. Yeah.
Have you seen that meme?
With the where they're in the grass.
No, so it's Natalie Portman did like a photo shoot for like Vogue or something.
Oh.
So the caption says, Jedi Council says, okay, Anakin, we know you haven't seen a woman in 10 years and you're a raging hormonal teenager, but we need you to go protect this senator for a couple weeks. Don't fall in love with her or anything. And then it says the senator. It is Natalie Portman. Oh, it's like, hold on.
Oh, she's like scantily clad. I see.
Yeah, it's like a photo shoot. It's like, don't fall in love with her. Why would you fall in love with her? Yeah, go protect the senator. Yeah, okay, great. That's a great call, Jedi Council.
Yeah, great one. God.
That's not going to lead to anything bad.
Nothing at all.
So that's my complaint too moving forward. Even in like the next movie, they have this secret relationship. And it's like, oh, well, if they find out, they'll remove you from the Jedi Council. And if they find out that I can't be a senator.
Right.
Right now we're having a kid. Now we're having kids. It's like, why don't you guys just go like quit and go live on Naboo where you want to be and just
Right.
be a family. Why continue?
Yeah, it's like, why you don't have to do this.
Just leave. Like, you're happy. You're both happy. You're having a kid. Just go live on Naboo and
Right.
just leave. You know, like
Right.
there's nothing preventing you. You know, it's
The only thing that's preventing you is that he's in the other movies. Right?
you know,
He has to still be a Jedi, and like it has to make sense. Yeah.
she has to die basically. Yeah. So yeah, their relationship is rushed, and it just seems like it's just badly acted. Like they don't get along off screen either.
I know.
I don't know if they do or not. It's just how it feels.
No, I know. And it's rough because like it's like you don't know if it's like Hayden Christensen and Natalie Portman being bad actors, which I don't think that they are.
No,
But the dialogue, some of their dialogue is like nobody talks like that in the movie. Like nobody talks like that in the movie.
nobody talks like that in real life.
Well, true, but you can admit there are some slightly weird things that like, people say in these movies that like they don't usually talk like that. But this was like even for Star Wars, it's a little like it's too much. It's just too much. You know what this feels like? And I know you're gonna laugh at this. Their relationship in this movie feels just as ham-fisted as Rey kissing Kylo Ren. It really does. It's like it's unnecessary and it doesn't feel like a real relationship is happening. You're probably right. It's probably some crazy Palpatine force thing. He touched her back and also she was like, oh, you know what I mean? Like
He's just swooning all of a sudden.
Gosh. So
I don't
yeah. So that's that. I mean, honestly, we could just keep going around in circles about how stupid it is, but it's rough. It's really rough.
It is, and just even the ability for them to keep it secret while living on Coruscant and being next to the Jedi Council and living in the same room and sleeping together every night and everybody being around. It's like, no, people knew what was going on. I mean, come on.
And like Obi-Wan knows, he calls it long before anything even happens.
Well, so even in like Clone Wars, like Ahsoka knows. Ahsoka knows, Obi-Wan knows, and he's like, yeah, you probably shouldn't, whatever.
Yeah. Like, that seems like a bad idea.
Because Obi-Wan's always kind of been wishy-washy because Qui-Gon's been wishy-washy on things.
Right. Yeah.
All right, so what else do you hate from this movie? Well, the beginning.
Yeah, no. Honestly, a lot of it is like when we talk about other stuff, it's just plot hole stuff.
Yeah.
It's nothing that I hate to the point where it's like it makes the movie unbearable. You know what I mean? It's just little things. I agree with your opening thing when you talked about all these Jedis can't take on droids. That's stupid, but
it's pretty dumb. Yeah, but that doesn't make me hate the movie.
Right, exactly.
The cringiness of their relationship makes me not like the movie.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's honestly it.
Yeah.
Something that's like, it breaks the movie for me. The rest of it is just like it's just more like irritants.
Yeah.
Like the whole sequence is cool where Obi-Wan grabs onto the droid, the droid thing, and he's hanging from this thing and they're going to the bounty hunter. Like that's cool, but it's all of this like it feels unnecessary. Like he says to Anakin, blah blah blah. He gets all mad at him about he's all mad about the security in her bedroom.
Oh yeah.
They go back and forth about who has better force senses. And how like Anakin, takes things too far and so on and so forth. And then all of a sudden, what's Obi-Wan do? He like launches out of that window. He has no idea what's going to happen, and then just hold on to the thing. It's like she could have shot him right in the face.
Yeah, right.
Instead of the droid, but it's okay that he does that.
Well,
and then when they get in the car and they're going back and forth, it feels like throwaway lines. When he jumps out of the car and he's like, "Oh, I hate when he does that." I'm like, when has he ever done that?
Never seen that. Thanks. Yeah, never seen it.
Yeah, it's meaningless.
That's showing that they have a past relationship with each other.
Yeah.
So what was I just gonna say? Oh, it's Obi-Wan that makes the scene in the bar too.
Sure.
You would think that Anakin would be like, the young guy coming guns blazing at the bar.
Right.
But it's Obi-Wan that like whips his saber out and cuts her arm off.
Yeah.
You didn't need to cut her arm off.
No.
She had a gun to your back, and it was like he felt the need to like cut her hands off.
But that was to, you had to show that he cuts people's arms off in bars.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Shut up.
Nothing to see here. Nothing to see here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that assassin lady gets killed by Django, essentially.
Bingo.
So now that is cool to me, as like a future Star Wars fan. Seeing Django Fett, and all the clones, like I love that because I love him. I love him as that role.
I think he's great in the movie.
I have my fingers crossed for like Captain Rex or Cody, like well, probably not Cody, but like Captain Rex to make a cameo in a live action.
Sure.
It would be so cool.
He might in the Obi-Wan.
It would be so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just love that. I love how it just.
No, me too. Honestly, I think other than the unnecessary thing that they do to him on Camino, the only thing I don't like is just how he dies. It's really stupid, but.
Well, he goes toe to toe with Obi-Wan, and it shows that like he is a good bounty hunter. He can take on a Jedi.
A Jedi, right? And
then Mace Windu comes out of nowhere and just slices his head off.
But he yeah, it's stupid. It's okay that he dies, and it's okay that Mace Windu gets him. I don't have a problem with that. It's just how they go about it.
Yeah,
it doesn't feel like when Obi-Wan and Django are fighting on Camino, it feels like an actual tug of war of who's going to win, right?
Oh yeah.
But when they're on Genosha and it's happening, it just seems like Mace Windu's just like, okay, yeah, whatever, you're dead. Like,
well, here's the thing, right? Is on Camino when he's fighting Obi-Wan, he is using the jetpack and he's up and he's mobile.
Yeah.
And he knows he just jumps down in the middle of the arena, surrounded by 1,000 Jedis, and he's just like flamethrower, grapple hook, and then it's just dodge, head cuff.
Right.
Why is he now all of a sudden not?
He doesn't know what to do anymore.
He has no idea what he's doing now. Yeah. Why did he even jump down there? Why?
Yeah.
Did you see? So I don't know. Maybe I can find it, but they went back in and they edited that because all the fans thought that like when Boba picks up his dad's helmet, like his head is still in it. So they edited the shadow after Mace Windu cuts his head. You can see the shadow on the sand, and it's helmet head. It comes out. So his his father's decapitated head's not in the helmet when he picks it up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But what's cool about that is, so according to like canon legends, moving forward, Boba Fett has a neck guard, like a neck thing that goes around his neck, like for his neck. Like the reason they did it for the design of the character is so that you don't have a helmet and then you see the neck and then right. So he has like a little collar that comes up. But what's cool is that collar is Beskar. Because he watched his father get decapitated by a lightsaber, he has Beskar neck guard that he'll never ever be decapitated by a lightsaber. So that's kind of
that's kind of neat.
Yeah. So that's cool. So seeing Django is really cool.
Yeah, it's great. The thing that I thought was stupid they did to him on Camino was it's literally the same thing you were just talking about with the arm getting cut off from the bar. It's like Lucas is like, we got to make a reference to this because that was such an important plot point. Mm-hmm. So it's Obi-Wan is dead, right? And Django goes back to the ship. And when he goes onto the ship and he closes the door, he hits his head on the door.
Really? Oh, I didn't even.
Yeah, when he's walking in the ship, he goes, oh, like that, and he hits the thing. And that's so that when the blooper happens in A New Hope and the stormtrooper guy gets hit with the door, it's like, oh, because the clones inherit this thing where they smack each other and they get
But
hit.
those aren't even clones.
Not at that point.
So even George Lucas doesn't know what era
Yeah.
he's in or what. Yeah.
Yeah, just if I don't know, who knows if it'll get copyrighted. But if you can find the scene where he's going back into the ship, he hits his head. He's like crouching as the door thing, and then he goes like clunk. He hits it.
That's just because the costume is too much. I know even sometimes like when I wore my Boba Fett costume, you
Yeah,
got the jetpack on, you got the rockets up here.
yeah,
You're
oh
walking
yeah,
around and it's like ducking under stuff.
yeah.
Then you got the rangefinder that's way up, and that's always.
But I don't even think in that scene. I don't even think it's the actor. I think it's full CGI, which shows that it's like planned. It's not even like the actor blooper. It's like it's a planned thing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, that's really stupid. Oh boy. Yeah.
But
So Dooku, I love Dooku's character.
he's really interesting in the movie, actually. He's like honestly like probably the most fascinating character. I was originally going to call my name down here that because he's kind of like the pivotal character in the movie,
Yeah.
but we were doing the whole Obi Anakin thing, so I didn't want to like ruin that. But yeah, he's
Right.
fascinating. He is
Yeah.
fascinating to me
Yeah, he is.
because when he's in that whole sequence where he's in he's talking to Obi-Wan and when he's like whatever like locked up,
Yeah.
he gives away so many plot points about everything that
Mm-hmm.
I was like, man, I was like, he actually had me believe because I kind of forgot. I forgot that he was like a really bad Sith person. I forgot he was like essentially Darth Maul in this movie. Like
Well,
he's the
he
next
he becomes that because Maul is dead.
right.
Right. But the thing that's interesting about that interrogation scene with Obi-Wan is Obi-Wan's like, he's a bad guy. He's not telling me the truth. But everything that he says to Obi-Wan, 100% true.
Yep.
And it's just like, I like that because like he's being truthful. And Obi-Wan's like, oh, he's full of it. It's like, no, Obi-Wan, he's telling you the truth.
Yeah. There's a cool deleted scene where when they arrest Padme and Anakin, they go before Dooku at the table. Yeah, I know. They go before them at the table, and she petitions. She does the whole thing that she says when she argues with Anakin in the ship, like I'm going to go and ask for them to release. That's what she does, and he says, "Well, I can't do that." He goes, "Unless Naboo joins the Confederacy."
Right.
He goes, "If they enjoy the Confederacy," he's like, "Absolutely, I'll let you go." And Obi-Wan, like, no big deal. She's like, "Well, we're not going to do that," and he's just like, "Oh well, like then I'm not letting you go."
So
and I was like, "Why did?"
It shows them as being like the headstrong people that won't join, like for the greater good.
Yeah.
And that's how Palpatine kind of switches the Jedi's as being traitors. Because like it's like, no, look, I want peace. Like I want peace. I don't want war. I want peace.
Right.
Whatever. Maybe he does. Maybe he doesn't.
Right.
But as soon as he can play it off as like, oh well, these people are bad because they don't, they're traitors. Yep. That's always been his role. But yeah, seeing Dooku is really cool. Yeah, he doesn't get used much in this movie though. He duels them. He duels Anakin and Obi-Wan at the end of the Geonosis battle thing.
Yeah.
And they both get taken aside like chumps.
Yeah.
It's always my complaint with any Star Wars thing is that Jedi forget that they have the Force. Like half the time, right?
Yeah.
There's a scene I just watched in the next movie where Obi-Wan and Anakin are flying their ship. And Obi-Wan's got all these little droids on his ship trying to like blow up his ship. And he's like in the cockpit and he's like, just go, Anakin, just wave me. It's like, dude, just do this in your ship and you get rid of them all. Yeah. And that's like what Dooku does. Like they're trying to fight Dooku and he's just like, throws him against the wall, drops the building on top of him. It's like,
Yeah.
you guys forget
Hello.
you can do stuff. You remember?
And that was the thing that I get Anakin's thing because he's over eager, right?
Mhm.
I get that. His maneuver to cut off his arm is really lame. Again, it's another one of those like he kind of just stands there and then he's like, and your arm is cut off. But the thing I was just like, what? He's like, and burn mark in your arm, burn mark in your leg. He's like, ooh, and he lays down, and then Yoda comes in, and they have a really good sequence with that. It's really good, and I like how they explain it. Right? It's like your knowledge of the Fourth. We seem, evenly matched.
And they do like the whole like duel, like the force off, right, where they're doing the holding the thing, and he's picking up.
Yeah, and he's doing the lightning, and he absorbs the lightning, right? It's all like
it's cool to see Yoda actually do something too, because our entire childhood, he's just been a sick dude in a bed,
like losing his mind.
Oh, how you get so
big? He's like inside the thing.
So when he walks in, Obi-Wan and Anakin are like out of commission. Yoda walks in, you're like, oh man,
yeah, true.
He's gonna get messed up.
And I mean, it kind of does, to be honest. I mean, it was kind of a losing battle. Yoda wasn't going to give up.
No.
But the thing that made me laugh was, okay, right, like you said, it's cool. He brings down the giant, like, monstrosity of a thing on top of for these two guys. And then Obi-Wan's like, oh no. I'm like, you can't just, like, move a little bit?
Lift it.
Or help him move it a little bit? Like, anything.
Help Yoda, yeah.
And then that's what made me laugh. The second Yoda puts it down on the ground, and Yoda's like, oh, Obi-Wan's like, whew, wow, I gotta get up. And I was just like, oh, now you can move. You can't move when the thing's gonna crush you.
It's so stupid. But the thing that I do enjoy about that, though, is it's cool to see, like, that's how old Yoda is.
Sure.
Right? Yoda's last Padawan is Dooku, and Dooku's like in his 80s.
Right.
And so it's cool to see,
and then he
was probably trained a bunch of people throughout his lifetime.
Yeah. And then right? Dooku was Qui-Gon's master.
Right. So that, right.
So it's even crazier. You're like, he's fighting. So Dooku fights his Padawan's Padawan. And then his old master comes and like shows him what's what,
That's true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so that stuff I love. I love that stuff.
It's great. It's really good. Honestly, I really liked hearing the clones again. I
do too.
I enjoyed all that stuff when they show up and he's like, they're all talking and everything, and he's like, do this thing in the front or whatever. He's like, yes, sir. Yes, Master Yoda. I enjoyed all
clones. That. Yeah, I love the clones. But so that's the thing. We're so used to like the clones that like now in this movie they're showing you like this whatever Grand Master, I forget his name, but he set this thing up like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't tell the
Master
council.
Sifo Dyas.
He didn't tell the council. It was a hidden thing. He hid the planet from the records. Right? So now it's this conspiracy inside of the Jedi Council that another Jedi member went out and he said, eventually we're going to need an army. So, like, did he have Force dreams to see what was happening or coming?
Right.
What? Who knows?
So that sequence where Obi-Wan goes to the library to look for the missing planet, or at least he's trying to understand the coordinates.
Oh, yeah.
And he's looking at that statue.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, when I first saw it, I thought he was looking at Qui-Gon.
Right.
Then she says something to him, and I said, oh, it's not Qui-Gon. It must be Master Sifo Dyas.
Right.
Whatever. So that's what I watched. So at the end, there's a deleted scene. He's sitting there talking to. He's looking at Count Dooku. It's Count Dooku's head because he's whatever he's Jedi. He's a Jedi master. He's a Jedi
I just like how nobody knows what has happened to Count Dooku.
Yeah.
He was a Jedi master and he's just gone. And now all of a sudden they're like, well, I guess Dooku's on the dark side now. No idea what's going on. How do you not know what's going on?
Yeah.
You're so focused on pleasing the council.
That's because the dark side clouds
them. So blind. And the fact that it shows how arrogant they are.
Yeah.
When he's in the library and he's like, I have the coordinates. I know the planet, and something is happening here. Why is it not on the map? And she goes, it's not in our records. It doesn't exist because
You're
we're
right.
so great and powerful. No way could somebody come in here and just go boop, boop, and delete it. Nobody would ever do that.
No.
They're
No.
well stood up guys.
Let alone a little kid who's like, someone must have deleted it, Master Yoda. And he's like, yeah,
Oh, here's your answer. And it's just like that's not a revelation that you have like snakes inside the organization. Maybe the Grand Chancellor could be a bad guy. Who knows? Who knows? Anything can happen at this point.
I know.
Oh man. So like you said before, they get captured on Geonosis. The whole like 30-minute scene of C-3PO, R2-D2, Anakin and Padme, they sneak in the back way.
I forgot
Obi-Wan,
about that.
and they immediately fall into like the assembly line. Can't find their way off of the assembly line. Can't get out of anything. Can't do anything. Get captured. It's like the stupidest.
Yeah, it really is.
Stupidest section of the movie. It's so unbelievable. It's just
There's no need for it. Yeah. And the thing that I totally forgot about it. That was the other thing I didn't like was so C-3PO goes and he's like looking at the assembly line and he's like, oh wow, that's terrible. That's funny.
pushes him in.
It pushes him over. I'm like, why? And then you think, oh, because R2's always thinking, right? He's always thinking. He's got a plan. No, he doesn't. He literally just pushed him so he could like fly over and then turn off the thing and was like, who cares what happens to C-3PO, basically.
Well, that's fine. I don't fault R2 for pushing him. I would push him over too. But then there's that whole thing that leads up to him getting his head swapped with a battle droid. It's just like, oh my god. I don't freaking care. This is so stupid.
Didn't serve a purpose. Certainly
Yeah.
not. Yeah,
But
I don't. Yeah.
I love the creatures that come out into the arena.
Yeah, the guns and all that. Yeah, that was cool. Yeah.
That, like, yeah. So in back in my head, I remember like this spider monster from something, and I don't remember what it was from. And then watching this movie, I'm like, oh my god, it's from this movie. That big spider leg creature, and he's got the beak thing.
Yeah.
That's cool. I like that scene. And then, like you said, all the Jedi show up. And it's like, it's kind of cool to see like a bunch of people with, lightsabers.
It's the first time you kind of get a whole bunch of Jedi's fighting it side by side, really.
Yeah. But you shouldn't see any of them dying, though. That's my complaint.
No.
Because they're fighting robots.
So another really interesting thing, I don't know why I keep watching deleted scenes. So deleted scene is the sequence where they're getting surrounded, like more keep coming out of the doorways, and then they're all standing there, and then they stop shooting at them, and it's like silent, and they're like, oh, it's like, okay, we're gonna die, and then the clones come in, right? But you know how like the droids stop shooting, and they're just like standing all around a big circle. So the deleted scene shows Kai Mundi, the guy with the head, and
right.
Plo Koon, the guy with the face, go into a droid control center and like shut the thing off and shut the droids off. And that's why they stop shooting, because they're turned off, but then they turn back on, and he says like, oh wow, they're independent of the control system, like this didn't work. And then the clones come in to save them. And it's like, don't show that part, just show that the droids just stop shooting him for absolutely no reason.
Yeah.
It was weird.
Yeah, and I just love how like cocky Dooku is that whole time too, where like you can tell like the Jedis are getting the upper hand on a few things.
Right.
And Jango, well, it's not the Jedis at that point, it's just the three of them. And Jango's like, yeah, you want me to take them out? And he's like, no, let's just let it play out. It's like, dude, if you have the upper hand, get rid of them. Don't toy with them.
Right.
It's just like, just get rid of them. Just get rid of them. If they're such a,
Yep.
That stuff to me is just like, bad guys do that in every movie where it's like, let's just play with them for a little bit. And then of course they get saved. They get rescued because, they're the good guys. It's just stupid. But yeah, so no, that's the thing I was talking about the last episode. That's so funny and stupid to me is that like the Grand Chancellor Palpatine, he's based on Coruscant. The Jedi Council is based on Coruscant. Where does Dooku go in this movie after says he goes to Coruscant? It's like you have all these people that are looking for him, and he goes back to Coruscant to be with Palpatine, and they all are in the same. They're in the same building. Essentially, they might as well all be the Jedi Council and like the actual Republic Council. They all might as well be in the same building with like Dooku and everybody. They're just different floors, and they have no what's going on.
Oh yeah, why would he be here? Yeah, no.
Nobody knows. Yeah. So no. So back to your point about Anakin getting his arm cut off.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot that happened in this movie.
Oh,
I know that he has like a robot arm because Luke does too eventually, and it's like father like son. But honestly, that's why like Kylo Ren. I remember when they showed the trailer for Kylo Ren's lightsaber, and people were like, "Oh my god!" But it makes sense. It makes sense. Every sword throughout history has had
right.
a guard, right, to block your hand, because it's so easy to like hit a sword and just bring it down the blade to your hand.
Yeah, just
and
there goes your arm.
That's what happens with the lightsabers. It's like they hit their blades and they just travel down the length of the saber to the hilt, and that's where your hand is, and you can't do anything about it other than like maybe turning it off and moving. Because in the next movie, that's how Obi-Wan deals with General Grievous too.
Right.
Grievous is a robot, right? So his arms only do this. So he's fighting him, and he hits the blade and down the saber, and hand cut off. Hits the blade down, cuts his hand off. So the fact that doesn't happen more often is
true. Yeah.
But yeah, doesn't Anakin fights Dooku with Obi-Wan's saber too, right? Where he's the double. That's a great scene. I love that.
Yeah, that's like I think that's like Return of the Jedi. It's a callback, right? It's when they're underneath the platform, Vader and him, and he's got the red lightsaber and he's got the green one, and they're trying to find each other in the darkness. So when the power gets cut and it's going like, and it plays like the music, and then every time you only see the light of their.
Oh yeah.
It's the same as Return of the Jedi. It's like it's like
cool.
showing a similar scene.
It's cool. It's actually choreographed well. It actually feels like an actual saber fight and not just a big ballet of everybody spinning around and turning around and showing their back to the other guy.
Right.
It actually feels like a sword battle,
Yeah, true.
Yeah. So then it ends with the clones being a part of the thing.
Yeah, they take them over, yeah.
And then they go off and they get married secretly on Naboo.
Yeah.
That's how the movie ends.
Yeah. So the thing is this movie sets up for those who have not seen or are not going to watch the animated series Clone Wars. For Anakin and Obi-Wan, it basically just their dynamic is Obi-Wan's always trying to get Anakin to, relax and stop and, not be so hot-headed and so emotional. And that's like their whole relationship in the whole movie, basically.
Yeah. So we got a little bit of time left, but the other thing too is that it sets up him being more emotional towards the dark side because of he goes and finds his mother, and he slaughters all of the Sand People that were responsible for kidnapping her.
Yeah.
And it shows Lars and Owen.
Beru and Owen.
Lars is their last name.
Yeah.
Beru, Lars. Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Thank you for saying that.
Yeah.
It makes me want to watch A New Hope. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So Anakin makes C-3PO. They leave him. 10 years go by. He obviously goes with Shmi or whatever her name is. He goes and Klieg or Klerg or whatever his name is. They marry him, right? And here's his other child.
Mm-hmm.
So why in A New Hope when Owen purchases the droids from the Jawa, does he not realize he's C-3PO? I get that C-3PO doesn't know it's him because he gets his mind wiped in the third movie.
Right.
But wouldn't Owen immediately be like, aren't you that droid that I was with for however many years?
I don't know.
It doesn't. I was just like, what? Because he was like they were like, C-3PO was like their servant. Like he worked with them. It wasn't like he was some way off in the other place. He was like, let me introduce you, Anakin and Padme, to my masters.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. I don't
So
know.
it's like, why wouldn't Owen and Beru like remember him?
They're just dumb moisture farmers. They don't know. I don't know. That's the
I get he
thing.
wasn't gold and shiny, but he still has the same stupid name.
That is the issue with here are these cool movies that have nothing to do with anything that's ever been made.
True.
All part of my original vision. And then 50 years go by and you're like, yeah, let's do prequels. And now you're trying to blend it all together. And there's these major plot points that are like, even like I know people argue away Obi-Wan meeting Luke and R2D2 for the first time. R2D2 doesn't have his memory wiped. R2D2 knows Obi-Wan Kenobi. And Obi-Wan knows R2D2. So
See, I thought he gets his mind wiped too at the end of 3.
I don't remember.
I think so.
But even then, Obi-Wan would know.
Yeah, Obi-Wan would know who R2D2 is.
So they can. So you can say all day long. Well, he wouldn't bring it up. Why would he? But if you watch that original movie, it's not even played off like there's a glint in his eye. There's
no.
It's just very blatantly like no idea. Because at the time in '77 when that was written, no idea.
Yeah, there was no whatever. Yeah.
So now seeing all this stuff happen, it's just I don't know. It's almost like the new movies with like Palpatine being back. It makes all this pointless. It takes all of Star Wars. It just says, nah, all that stuff is pointless. The Chosen One is BS. Vader is BS. Vader killing Palpatine and reuniting with his son and dying in Jedi. That doesn't need anything. It's dumb. It's stupid. It doesn't exist anymore.
Right.
Palpatine's still alive. It's like, dude, you just ruined 6 movies.
Right.
Because you had no story, you had nowhere to go, and you brought Palpatine back because you thought that would be like, oh, wouldn't that be cool if Palpatine came back? Because the only reason you did it is for money, and it ruins everything.
And that's the thing that makes me laugh is they call it the Skywalker saga, which it really should be called the Palpatine saga, right? I mean, really.
Get out of here. I can't talk about it. It gets me so.
I know. No, I know.
But even this movie shouldn't be called Attack of the Clones.
No, it should be called something like Confederacy or like, I don't know, like the
it should just be
Separatist
called like
movement.
Beginning of the Clone Wars, or
Yeah.
It should just be called Yoda versus Dooku. Star Wars.
Yeah, whatever.
Star Wars.
Yeah.
I don't know. What else would you call it? It's not. It's called the Clone Wars. Attack of the Clones. And then it ends with, all right, get these Jedi out of here. Pew, 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 pew. And then Yoda says, well, no, we haven't won anything. This is the beginning. And you're like, oh, so the next movie is the Clone Wars. Attack of the Clones. It's like, no. The next movie is the end of the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think he was trying to stay away from like the Empire Strikes Back, right? Because that was kind of like that's what happens in that movie. So you can't call it like the Confederacy Strikes Back, type of thing. You can't call it that.
The Confederacy Strikes Back. That's a great name. The Republic fights harder.
I think probably honestly it should have just been called something where it was just talking about the separation, like separate worlds or separate government. Like that's what it should have been called. Whatever.
It should be called Star Wars Episode 2. Naboo still has a blockade.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Naboo still wants to be relevant.
Do you like? We didn't talk about it in person, but I like how so far all of Padme's secret behind the scenes handmaidens are all like super famous actresses now.
Yeah, right. I just learned the other day that yeah, the first one in the first movie was
The first one is Keira Knightley,
Keira Knightley.
and then in this movie it's Rose Byrne.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, yeah. And she plays. I mean, you could look her up. She's like in everything. So
That's crazy.
it's just really funny. It's all these like people who weren't really big at the time, and now they're like huge movie stars.
Yeah, that's crazy.
What's kind of sad. I mean, Natalie Portman's getting put back on the map, but it's kind of sad that a lot of them didn't really go on to do much of anything,
Well,
and all the other
Portman-
like background characters did.
Natalie's gonna be Thor here shortly.
I know.
That's a trailer that that's a good trailer.
It'd be interesting to see what happens there.
Yeah, I know, me too. So so that's Star Wars Episode 2. We recommend just go watch Clone Wars.
Oh, seriously, watch literally like the last half an hour of this movie, and then just go watch Clone Wars.
Just watch Clone Wars. I mean, Obi-Wan and Anakin's relationship is so much better. Ahsoka's a great character. It's just the clones are so good in that show. You get a background into the clones, how they're all different, how they all
they're
have
all
personality.
different,
It's just everything in this movie's not. It's just
I know.
story, plot, setting, all of it. No, and even the Padme Anakin relationship stuff is in that show, but it's handled well, and they're married, and it's this constant, well, we got to finish the war, and we got to serve the thing, and they're trying to do this, and they're trying to. It's so much better.
Yeah.
So much better. Just go watch that. Skip 2, watch that.
Yeah. I know.
So that's Attack of the Clones. So next
It's called Star Wars Episode 2: The Separatist Movement. That's what it's called. That's the Separatist Movement. Done.
Yeah, it's a movement, all right.
It's separate.
Oh man. All right, everybody. So we will see you next time for Revenge of the Sith.
Sith.
Count Dooku dies in the first 10 minutes. Oh my God.
Or does he?
He does. And buy us coffee.